This is Revolution Radio in Northampton. We are live on a Thursday morning. This is Chris with music coming out from Fatboy Slim and Amy Winehouse. And it's great to have another guest in the studio now. We have Stephen Medcraft with us this morning. Hello, Stephen. How are you doing?
Good morning, fine, thank you.
So you may well have come across Stephen if you were looking at our social media this week, because he's a bit of a local star now, because he's the poster boy for St Andrews Healthcare's campaign to get people recruited to be mental health nurses. There's a recruitment day happening tomorrow, and he's come in the studio to talk about his story and about, why it's actually a really interesting and fulfilling job to do, being a mental health nurse. How long have you been doing this now?
So I've been now St Andrews now, this is my 19th year.
19 years?
19 years, yeah.
Wow. And you weren't always a mental health nurse, though?
No, I've only qualified a month ago out of university. So it's all very fresh to me as a mental health nurse.
Okay, but this is a role that you've always wanted to do within
St Andrews. It's been a dream, to be honest. I've always felt that I could do the role of a qualified nurse, but never had the guts to go and do it because I was dyslexic.
Okay, so being dyslexic is something that must have been a challenge for you your whole life then. When did that kind of present itself for the first time?
When I was in upper school, when it come to exams, no one really picked up on it. I couldn't read or write. So I left school at 15 because of that. So I didn't have any time. Didn't want to do my exams, was scared. I was just like, no, not for me, thank you.
I think school can be really challenging if you have dyslexia and it is actually National Dyslexic Week this week, which is another reason why we're sort of featuring your story. But I think probably schools are a lot more understanding now than they would have been 20 years ago with dyslexia, and kind of helping people kind of overcome that. But a lot of exams are written, aren't they? And it must be very challenging to be in that sort of educational environment with dyslexia.
I think where I grew up, it was like school really wasn't as great as it was now. So then I didn't really want to pick up on it. Didn't want to teach those that didn't want to be taught. So I was kind of just, you got dyslexic, you deal with it yourself kind of thing.
And then did you go and work for St Andrews after you left school, kind of doing different roles?
No, so I had to look after my dad as well. My dad became very poorly. My dad was a drug addict and an alcoholic, so I had to kind of look after him as well. So that was another reason why I left school. But that's kind of how I got into mental health. I think mental health found me. Yeah,
so that was sort of what you were doing immediately. You were sort of looking after his issues and kind of understanding how a lot of it does stem from, how you feel within yourself and those sort of mental health issues.
Yeah, so when I went to St Andrews, I kind of had a good knowledge of the psychosis side of work, so it kind of gave me a bit of an advantage. So I guess that's why I've been there so long.
And what is it that you enjoy about your job?
I think just knowing the patients and remembering they've got an illness and seeing the recovery. It may take a short time, may take a long time, but seeing the recovery from when they were really poorly to them getting back in the community is very beneficial. So
you don't see it as a characteristic; it's a condition that's there to be fixed if you can do with these.
Definitely, like I say, people perceive mental health as people in padded cells, but you St Andrews. I mean, I was like that before I started, but once working there, they're humans. They just want to be helped.
And I guess it must be really fulfilling when you see them go on that journey and kind of overcome a lot of their issues with your help.
It's great because we actually see some old patients in town centre, and they greet you and they're very thankful for the work, the help you gave them. So yeah, very rewarding.
So you'd recommend it as a career choice. Do you need to be the right sort of person to be good as a mental health nurse?
You need to be approachable. You need to be somebody that can sit and talk and listen to patients, because that's all sometimes they need. It can be very frustrating being told when you can and can't eat and when you can and can't go out. So being stuck on the wards can be very frustrating for patients. I just need someone there I need you to listen to me. I need someone to talk to today.
So that obviously empathy, very important as well, but you don't need to have necessarily been through what you've been through.
No. So you get so much coaching, training, mentoring when you come to St Andrews. You can come there with no experience, and before you know it, you probably want to go down the route and want to be a mental health nurse, just because you get the inspiration of how rewarding the job is.
It does sound like something that people should be considering if they're interested. And obviously St Andrews is a great place to work if that's the kind of thing that you want to get into.
Definitely, yes. St Andrews, like I say, I highly recommend it. I mean, being there 19 years, they're doing something right. And with the clientele we have, it's a very rewarding job. On days, it's like I say, it can be very challenging, but you overcome the challenging days with the good days, and like I say, just seeing them recoveries, I think, is the most reward you can get out of your job.
Fantastic. So if you are interested in becoming a mental health nurse, you don't have to decide now. You can come along, find out more details, mull it over, have a think about it. There's actually recruitment day happening tomorrow at St Andrews on Billing Road, isn't there? How's that? What's going to be happening at the recruitment day?
So for anybody that wants to get into mental health nursing, we have a recruitment day at St Andrews tomorrow between 11 and 2:30. And you don't even have to want to be a mental health nurse. You can be a psychologist, social worker, even cleaner, catering. There's apprenticeships. So there's plenty of opportunities and jobs there. And if people want to come along, please get in contact with St Andrews. You can contact them on 01604 872 660, or you can send an email to recruitment@standrews.co.uk.
Fantastic. So as you say, it doesn't have to be that particular job that we've been talking about today, although that is one of the areas. And there's vacancies, there's opportunities there, and you can go along and see what skills you have that might be suitable for doing something that's possibly a bit more rewarding than the job that you're in at the moment.
Definitely, I say people might not even consider coming into mental health at all. Once they come to recruitment day and see what's actually available to them, it's more than just mental health. There's lots of other areas. There's learning difficulties. There's adolescents. There's females. There's plenty of opportunities there. So please come along to recruitment tomorrow.
And I think also just seeing the inside of the place and understanding, what it's really like, the reality that, as you say, it's not all padded cells.
So people drive past, they see that St Andrews Healthcare and think, oh, that's for mentally ill patients. But actually, you come in there, they're just human. They're the same as you and me, and just with an illness.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. And if you're interested in reading some more of Stephen's fascinating story, and it's a really heartwarming story of how you've overcome your dyslexia and had this 19-year journey to achieving your dream of becoming a mental health nurse. You can read that on our website. Go to the news section, local news section of revolutionradio.com. But thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully lots of extra people coming along to the recruitment day tomorrow at St Andrews Healthcare from 11 o'clock on Billing Road. Okay, let's continue with Amy Winehouse now. This is Back to Black on Revolution Radio.